Good morning to those of you in the West and Midwest U.S. Good afternoon to those on the East Coast, and good evening to our friends in India. This is KJ from Prospect Silicon Valley, and I had the pleasure to meet Lena Pisha-Thomas last fall when she was on a visit to Silicon Valley. Our CEO, Doug Davenport, and I were very impressed with the work that she's doing. And so we have begun to explore ways that we might collaborate with Lena and her organization. Our first idea was to host this webinar in which Lena will describe the clean tech and smart city opportunities in India and how U.S. companies can participate in solving some of the big challenges. So I wanted to take a minute and tell you a little bit more about Lena. She has nearly 2 decades of experience in international business and has worked with businesses, NGOs, and the public sector in Europe, North America, and Asia. Her industry experience spans the fields of energy, environment, transportation, innovation, and climate change mitigation. Lena founded Global Business Inroads, or GBI for short, in 2009. And one of the services that's provided by GBI is assisting private companies to deploy their technologies in India and Asia. Previously, Lena worked for the Clinton Climate Initiative of the Clinton Foundation as the country program manager for India and also as the city director for Delhi. She was selected by the U.S. State Department in 2011 for the International Visitors Leadership Program in the clean energy and the climate change category. And between 2010 and 2014, she worked with the European Union Commission to develop a program to transfer EU clean technologies to the Indian market. So you can see that she's well qualified to talk about this topic. In 2015, she was presented the award for Woman Achiever of the Year by the ISBR Business School in Bangalore. So welcome, Lena, and take it from here, please.
Good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here on this webinar. Thank you so much, Karen, for the introduction. We are facing one of the warmest summers here in Bangalore, which is towards the south of India in the state of Karnataka. Today we have temperatures of 97 degrees Fahrenheit, and we are not used to such hot conditions. Well, the thought I had this evening was, and morning for you, was the time has really come now for all our countries to collaborate for climate change mitigation. And most importantly, one of the steps that we can take is to really build and develop smart cities. I had the opportunity to meet Doug and Karen, from ProspectSV last October. And I was really excited with what I saw in terms of the tech demonstration center, and also how much it is an enabling center for technologies that are being innovated. And most importantly, how the Bay Area Climate Collaborative is actually acting as a living lab to absorb these technologies. This, in my mind, is true inspiration for India as well, while we now embark on a journey to build smarter cities here. So the question really that we asked ourselves is, how can US companies participate, in smart city opportunities in India? There is a lot of cutting edge work that you all are doing in the US. There is a lot of need for technology solutions and business models in India. And really, how can we collaborate to actually leverage what the US has to build and develop project opportunities here in India? So today's webinar, basically, we are organizing this to engage the interest of US companies in the Indian market. Just before I delve into the presentation, a few housekeeping rules. We're going to put all of the participants on mute. I'll probably take 30 minutes to talk through, what I want to share. And any questions that you have, it'll be great if you can type that down, and I'll pick it up at the end of the presentation. We can definitely discuss, and the whole idea about, setting up this opportunity is also for us to brainstorm and discuss really, what you think about the opportunities, how you think US also might be able to leverage these opportunities that are upcoming in India. And finally, we'll actually be recording this webinar, so no need to take copious notes. We'll be sharing a copy of the webinar, link with all of the participants of this webinar. So yes, so this morning, what I'd like to do is really share with you in a very high level what are the what's happening in terms of the smart city mission of the government of India. What are the various smart initiatives in India? Where are the opportunities and the challenges? And given that we have opportunities and challenges, what should be the roadmap for internationalization? Where is the value proposition, and finally finish off with really what global business inroads does, what we can do, and the potential way forward. So about India's smart city mission, it is such an exciting time for all of us here in India, because we are constantly seeing new news announced every day ever since we had the new Prime Minister Narendra Modi take over operations of this country. And one of the missions which he has launched is the smart city mission, really because our cities, I mean, I'm sure many of you have visited India, you will see that our cities typically have not had the kind of planned growth we should have had, but we need to make the right kind of changes. There are lots of very good examples, so hence the government has really announced now to develop 100 smart cities and rejuvenate another 500 in the country. So the idea is to really look at, retrofitting existing cities, looking at redevelopment options, and also greenfield development. I mean, and at the end of the day, everybody knows that, the digital economy, and looking at availability of optical fiber networks and the next generation infrastructure is going to be crucial, and this is something that the government of India is aware and wants to take forward. Now, the first thing, of course, everybody's going to ask is, how is all of this growth going to be funded? Is it really a priority for the government? And the answer is yes, because there has been, about 7 billion allocated for the first 100 smart cities. There is another 7.5 billion, attributed to a program called the Amrut, where 500 cities will be taken up. It's just structured a little differently, but they're all focused on urban transformation. And there is a National Investment in Infrastructure Fund, and also innovative ways of looking at user charges, public-private partnerships, and municipal bonds. So currently, all of these different methods and sources of funding are being already deployed. It's not like there are a number of projects that which are going to start, and there are a number of initiatives that have already taken off in India. A number of city areas, within different cities of India that are already being developed as smart cities, and this whole opportunity is going to be scaled more and more in the months and years to come. We wanted to mention today that India is not, trying to do this in an isolated way. They are engaging with foreign expertise, and they have signed up with various international governments, including the US, to develop, smart cities. So different governments have signed agreements for different cities. And as you see, we have a short illustration, of what kind of Indo-US agreements, Indo-French, Indo-German agreements, the kind of ways that countries are coming forward to work with India to develop smart cities. So what are the areas, and the sectors that smart cities, what does it mean for India? For the longest time, in fact, this also had to be defined, from the Indian perspective, what do we mean by making a city smart? So really how it has been defined in all government documents is adequate water supply, electricity, sanitation, transport, affordable housing, digitalization in terms of really being having all of these services digitally connected, e-governance, sustainable environment, safety for citizens, health and education. So these are the areas that have been defined, but I must reiterate here that this is quite a new journey that India is embarking on. And oftentimes when we meet government officials in India, they are always asking us, please tell us what's new. Please tell us if we have missed something. You know, we are doing this. We want to learn and do and do and learn all the time. So even if, you know, certain new innovative technologies and solutions are not represented, it does not mean that India is not going to do it. They are always open to new ideas and are, you know, willing to kind of revisit the plans that they are setting out to incorporate and include, you know, the best, most innovative solutions that the world is coming up with. International collaboration is key, as you have seen with the way, you know, our Prime Minister has been traveling the world and really leveraging, the support of other countries and leaders. And it's always said, wise is the man that actually reaches out to seek help from others. And that's something that India is most willing to do. Now, I'm just going to go into a little bit of detail. Now, the first, 20 cities in India were selected, and US $8 billion investment from the government of India has been allocated for 20 cities over the next 4 years. Round 2 of the Smart City Challenge competition will begin on April 1st, 2016. And the union government has asked all these the first selected 20 smart cities for the first phase of the Smart Cities mission to form special purpose vehicles that will actually execute these projects. And the ministry has already released rupees 200 crores for each of these 20 selected cities. Now, the cities have been selected based on the projects that they've applied in proposals, and this is the kind of proposals that the first 20 cities have already, shared with the government. So as you can see here, there is, different kinds of solutions around mobility, sanitation, and waste management that the cities have applied for and already been selected. So as I just mentioned, the government is going to move to 40 cities, 100 cities, and then 500 cities over the years to come. Before we move on, I want to just talk about, apart from just the focus on cities, there's also projects and programs supported by the government of India that are, mostly based on the sectors. So there has been a 4 billion plan to spur electric and hybrid vehicles. In fact, I just learned that Volvo, that has their factory and manufacturing facility here in Bangalore, has already deployed 5 hybrid buses in the city of Bangalore. So apart from that, there are smart grid pilot projects. There is a project around water. There is a project around safe cities already funded and ongoing. There's one around intelligent building management systems. And, there's one around improving affordable healthcare. I just want to now, since we have, talked a lot about the smart city opportunities, I want to talk about India, just so, for any of you who are not quite familiar with why India, why should US companies and organizations look at India? One of the important things that we always say is that the large population is a great market opportunity for technology companies that want to scale their growth. And importantly, we're one of the economies that really has a stable and growing economy at 7.5%. And there are various missions around Clean India and the smart cities that I mentioned, and also a plan to do 100 billion investments just in solar to develop 100 gigawatts of solar as well. So, and massive opportunities connected then to biotech, transportation, and ICT, sewage, water, and so on and so forth. I just want to now, as we talk about the opportunities, also talk about the challenges, because one thing that Global Business Inroads and our team, we have always done is we have always looked at the challenges in India and taken them face to face. We never try to cover up, with our technology clients and let them know that, oh, the market's great, it's hunky-dory, everything's perfect, you should just come. We always talk about what are the challenges because we want to prepare for it all the time. We apprise companies of the kind of challenges all the time so that, when you come in, you're prepared and you're also dealing with them in a proactive rather than a reactive manner. So as I was just saying, we have one of the biggest and the most underpenetrated markets. And, it is estimated that 25 to 30 people will migrate every minute to major Indian cities from rural areas. there is a need to find smarter ways to manage complexities. I've been living in Bangalore, all my life except for a few years when I went away to study, and I've seen this particular city grow beyond its boundaries. We're actually, it's overflowing. And this is because of the kind of migration all progressive cities in the city are facing. So there is a need to find smarter ways to manage the complexities, reduce expenses, and increase efficiency. Just excuse me. India's Smart City Plan is a part of the larger agenda of creating industrial corridors between India's big metropolitan cities. Just give me a few minutes, I'm recovering. So sorry about that. And as I mentioned, there is a vast scale of opportunities, and it could seem quite overwhelming for any international entity that is seeking opportunities in India. What we at GBI have always done is try to look at each technology as a unique solution and look at the market in a very unique way. And rather than trying to, bundle everything together and, tackle it as, everything, can work, we look at every technology and market opportunity in a unique manner. And in the next few slides, I will share with you how we have developed a process over the last 6 years, which really looks after all of the problems that one could face while bringing their technology into the Indian market. Importantly, one of the points I'd like to make is even though the opportunities are huge, they are challenging, the IP regime in India is stringent and well protected, but even so, the right steps have to be taken from the very beginning, and our process of technology management also looks into that. So what we have done actually is over the years, with all our experience, we worked with over 200 technologies, doing different types of things, with them within the Indian market. We decided to put all our learning and come up with a strategy where, we believe that, what should be the roadmap of internationalization specifically into a market like India. And then what we have done is that really looked at how can, and in the course of this presentation, in fact, we will take you through the full process from showcasing and building awareness about a new technology in India to deploying in the ground. There are opportunities for demonstrations and scaling up in the physical world, as we call it, and also the opportunity to showcase and be discovered on virtual platforms. So the idea is, right from showcasing your technology to the Indian market, connecting with companies, demonstrating and deployment, we've looked at a full 360-degree solution for internationalization. What does the tech company look for in terms of opportunities? Generally, everybody wants to, demonstrate their technologies. They want to have the right potential partners and sites, to pilot their technologies, whether it's within the government, the private sector, or living labs, as we call them. And then the second thing is that, you have to indigenize the solution, make it market friendly, and then finally commercialize. So this is what we have seen that most technology companies that work with us are looking for. So I'm just going to talk to you a little bit now about global business inroads and the solutions that we have devised. Really, all of this has been developed to deal with all of the market entry opportunities and issues in the most practical, simple manner. As we go through, the presentation, you will see that a lot of these things were always in front of us, but and we just needed to deal with it and create a formal process so that we do not, we take care of all the potential mistakes so that we are and we can be successful in the new market. So we are a boutique international business technology and project management consulting entity. We have been operating for the last 6.5 years. I personally have 18 years of experience in the area of, dealing with climate change, energy efficiency, and renewable energy technologies, and bringing them into India. So the formal process that we have developed, I'm first going to discuss, our tech transfer and commercialization process. And within that, we have actually been for a long time working on the technology management interface process. And really, very simply, what this means is this is typically applicable to any US tech company that wants to, that is entering India, for the first time, and they need to validate in their technology in the short term. Whether to see whether there are opportunities in India in the first place, whether is there a potential. So that's something we do. And then, the next step is, you need to find a partner and make connections with the right ecosystem. Now, once you find potential partners and you know that there is a market for your technology, one mistake people make is that they say, okay, fine, I found a partner, there is a great project, I'm going back to the US and I will manage it from there. So often, if you are not in front of people here in India, people will just forget about you. So what we devised at GBI was a service which looks at technology representation, where we, after this process of market validation and partner identification, we actually have one of our staff working as a technology manager for your specific technology, who will be a single point of contact there for all of the customers and partners that you've already initiated discussions with, where you now probably need to kind of look at what kind of business analytics needs to be done, what kind of business strategy one needs to have in India, what kind of business model should we have, because one of the things we often forget is we come to India with the approach to sell. And that's the biggest mistake that tech companies make. What you should come to India to do is to build relationships and have a business model that will actually work within the local environment. We call this the process of technology indigenization or localization, where we actually work with you to look at what is the right strategy to localize your technology in India. We look at how your IP needs to be managed. And once you have done this, you will be in a better position then to plan your first demonstration. Or maybe, you may need to do some further technology product development. So there might be a small phase of R&D which will have to be done, where we then help you collaborate with the right R&D institutions or living labs where you can actually demonstrate and work your technology to the point of technology commercialization, in India you could actually do a joint venture, you can do a direct FDI, or you can license your technology for commercialization. There are different methods that, depending on the case, we help you with. And alongside all of this, a number of companies would like to have liaison with the government for government projects and tenders. We support you with that, along with financial advisory in terms of raising the right kind of financing to grow your business in India. So that is, we've kind of put the entire process onto a slide to make people realize that, to come to India and do business, you need to have a vision. So oftentimes I meet tech companies who say, oh, I need to find my first customer, I want to do sales, and they are not building a long-term vision. So we show this to people to say, look, this is what it's going to take you to build your business in India. Whether you do it with a local partner or you do it on your own, you need to keep all of these things in mind so you are not disappointed because you've not looked after the process in the right way. Now, we've done this for a number of technologies, and we started to actually build a technology inventory within GBI, which at one point we realized that there was, we're having this inventory of technologies and also market opportunities. We wanted to professionally manage this data that we were collecting on, what technologies and what markets. So a year ago, we actually came up with the concept of developing a global technology interface, which is really, it's basically, for us and for the technology companies, it is a portal for global collaboration. Most importantly, every technology company will be allowed to showcase their technologies, be discovered by partners and customers, and be supported then by GBI to develop and deploy here in the Indian market. So what is the and the reason we did this is because we felt that while we were taking one technology at a time into the Indian market, the actual vision of what technologies are out there, what are the kind of solutions that are available, is not something that people are aware of. So the GTI platform can typically help technology companies or clusters from around the world really have an opportunity to showcase, and at the same time market players can actually then have themselves take a look at what is available out there. So that's about the technology showcase and display. You can also, on the platform will also allow for technology pitch sessions, will also help organizations collaborate for R&D, also pose itself as a technology intelligence nucleus with a number of articles on latest technologies and innovations and market opportunities. And most importantly, this online platform is not going to be just left alone for things to work out on its own, but GBI will have their own technology management unit, which has been working with different technologies, actually build these partnerships and make business happen for technology deployment into the given market. For example, the first mover that has taken up working with us on both the GTI and the TMI framework is the global. GBI in fact works apart from CleanTech and smart cities. We are also active in the healthcare and life science space. And one of the first organizations that has come forward to work with us is the Global Life Science Development Corporation, which is a public-private partnership between the government of the US and a private real estate family from the Maryland region. So what we have done is we are looking at showcasing and deploying in this year 200 technologies and solutions, and through this display also facilitating about 30 business collaborations and 20 research collaborations, and facilitating monthly knowledge and information exchange sessions. So this is just an example of how the GTI platform can support to scale what we do with the technology management interface that I just described to you. The technology management interface, we are working with one company, one technology at a time. But if what we're trying to do with the GTI is actually scale the opportunity for showcase of technology to new market opportunities. So apart from, I just finished now with the tech transfer and commercialization opportunities. Apart from that, one of the areas that works very well for operating in India is actually, if we have, 4 or 5 technologies or a group of technology companies or a cluster that wants to actually avail of opportunities in India, we generally develop a program of activities and develop an ecosystem. For example, one of the things that immediately came to my mind when I visited Prospects and saw the collaboration with the companies in the Bay Area Climate Collaborative was, how can we develop a similar cross-country program between US and India, because we know, about 2 or 3 state governments here who would actually love to have an exchange program, with the Bay Area to, to offer, for example, demonstration facilities for, your technologies in India, and also their cities as a living lab to scale technologies. So program management and ecosystem development is something that we have done for our various clients, including the European Business and Innovation Network in the EU, the US Market Access Center, which is actually, in the Bay Area in Silicon Valley, and also for the Swiss government, where we have looked at creating programs and long-term programs and ecosystems for technology transfer into India. GBI has also supported a number of their companies who have succeeded in the first phase of technology management and found good opportunities in India in continuing to manage their projects in country. So a lot of the times people find, that it's a big break and a steep fall once we leave, managing their work here in India. So some of our clients have really come back to us and said, look, we would like to start our first project. We need somebody on the ground. We don't have the resources to fly, our staff from the US or the UK into India. So would you be able to manage our first project or second project in India? So we've taken on the role as well of doing the project management consultancy, which is all bringing together the project, the partner, the government, and the investor and financing to do their projects here in India. Some of the examples that we have listed out here is Robert Bosch, EC Wind from Sweden, Highview Power Storage from UK. These are all the clients that we're working with, covering the sectors in terms of energy management, wind, and energy storage, microgrids, water, to name a few. The GBI clientele, I'm just giving you, a quick idea of the kind of organizations we've been working with over the years, both institutions and private companies. And I would like to leave with all of you, our credentials, and you will see that, there is really a mix of international governments, tech labs, NGOs, and private sector tech companies who have found it useful to work with us to bring their technologies and solutions into India. I just want to, finish off by just sharing with you now a few of the ideas that we were thinking about what could be the way forward, how could we work with the US companies here in India. And, the three things that came to our mind is basically the technology management interface. In short, we call it TMI for the tech companies, where we do customized strategic market access programs and projects to leverage the specific projects and opportunities in India. So it will be a custom tailored program just for you. The second thing is that, a lot of companies who, for example, know that, they are clear about coming to India, and, they just are clear that they want to do, one project. We are happy to start off with project management work for them on the ground in India. Or if we want to work in a more strategic manner and have a customized program of activities for prospects of the Bay Area Climate Collaborative and the corporates to include all of the various solutions like GTI, TMI, and project management consultancy for a group of companies, maybe with one or two specific states or cities here in India. So I'm very excited about what in this may have ignited your imagination. There are so many opportunities. There are specific ones in specific project areas related to, like we said, buildings, water, waste, transport, renewable energy, and then there are the smart city missions focused on funded programs for city governments. There are opportunities to work here with the large corporates ecosystem here, especially in fact in Bangalore. We have the likes of SAP, Bosch, Cisco, Volvo, who are all engaged in promoting smart city development in India and encouraging new technology and innovation entering the Indian market. So we have a fabulous corporate ecosystem, a very progressive government. There is also a very encouraging environment for startups. Bangalore is also known as a startup city. I just want to clarify that GBI actually helps you with opportunities all across India. It's not just Bangalore. But nevertheless, with the ecosystem and players in place, I'm more than happy now to open the floor to questions and, or even comments and hear from you, on what would be meaningful for you as a US company to leverage the Indian market. What I'm going to do is I'm going to read the questions and also, give the answer where I can. The first question says from Ashok Moge. It says, will we also have the slide deck available for a review and reference later? Yes, you will get that, with the webinar link. And also from Ashok, the next question, what is the significance of rank in the diagram? The ranking was based on the proposal the cities have submitted. It was a competition called the Smart Cities Challenge. I hope I've answered your question. We've also provided, our email address. So if there is something still left unanswered, after this webinar, please feel free to drop us an email. Yeah, so Harsh Varma has asked for what is your contact info, and we have shared the same just now. Okay, so I've got another question from Ashok saying you're a bit confused now with GTI, GBI and GLTC. Sorry about that. Now, basically, GBI is the parent company, which is Global Business Inroads. GTI, the Global Technology Interface, is just one of our it's one of our activities. It's the name of the online platform, which is owned and operated by GBI. And GLDC is one of our clients in the life science sector that is actually utilizing, the GTI platform, and is one of the first movers to use that to scale, showcase and deployment of technology into new markets. We have one more question which says, please elaborate on the term greenfield development. What we mean by greenfield is, when it is a completely new project, there is no city as yet, and as a new city needs to be developed. There is a lot of new city development happening in India, and that's called greenfield developments. In fact, the private sector in India, the private sector real estate companies are building, mini townships and cities in different parts of India. So these, are typically called greenfield projects, which are awarded on sites which are untouched, and the projects and the cities are developed from scratch. Next question from Albert Gomez. I recently did some research on the strength of nano cement or concrete from an organization in India. Is it possible you may be using this technology on infrastructure? Is that something? Get back. Personally, I think my team and I are not aware of this, Albert. We can definitely get back to you and let you know whether it is being used in India currently or not. Okay, the next question from Reshma Singh is, who from the US, how is the US working in Allahabad, Vizag and Ajmer? Is the current US-India partnership signing with the Department of State? Yes, Reshma, the government of, the DOE and, has several agreements with India to develop smart cities, and all of these agreements are, a number of them are run under existing programs of PACE-D. I don't know if you've heard about that, and there is also a new smart city program. So there are a number of, so this particular program is being run. I think US Department of State and Energy are a part of the US-India program right now in these cities. Next question is, can you touch upon a bit upon the industrial corridors? Where are these industrial corridors? And are all cities along these greenfield sites? So where are the industrial corridors in India? For example, a few of them. You have the Delhi-Mumbai industrial corridor that really goes from the west of India to the north of India. Then we have a Chennai-Bangalore industrial corridor, which is just in the south of India between the state of Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. And we also have a Bangalore-Mumbai from the south to the west of India economic corridor. So in fact, it is hoped that many industrial and commercial centers will be recreated as smart cities along these corridors. And by the way, all of the cities along these industrial corridors are not greenfield sites. Some of them will be, existing cities that need to be retrofitted. and then some will be greenfield. We have another question from Harsh Varma. Is there a focus on transportation? The answer is yes. E-mobility, intelligent, transport systems, integrating, public information with public transport. There are a number of, transportation-related projects under smart cities. So I have just read through all of the existing questions, that we've had coming out today. If there are any more, I'm happy to wait for a minute to welcome any of you to share questions. Thank you, Reshma. You say that you'd love to chat more. Looking forward to it. You have our contact information, and in fact, we look forward to connecting with any of you and all of you who want to maybe also have one-to-one telecons with us. So we'd be happy to please do email us, and we'd be happy to set up one-on-one discussions with any of you who would like to learn more or talk about any specific programs. I'm sorry if I've been too fast and some things have been not been very clear, but we're happy to to clarify any of these on email or in direct one-to-one questions. Okay, we have one more question. How can we find more information on the GTI program? We'll be happy to share it with you on email. The platform, we've actually marked it on the slide. We are just now testing the beta version, and we're due to go live by the end of May this year. So that's where the platform is, and we'll be happy to share the information on the GTI program with you, Christopher. I'm waiting to actually see if there are any more questions really that come up. Okay, so I think we are done for today. But I also do see this as a beginning of opening a new chapter to work with companies in the US to really transform how we could potentially, change our cities here in India. I look forward to staying in touch with all of you. And thank you to Karen and Doug, ProspectSV, for organizing this. And thank you to all the participants for really, sparing the time to hear us out. And hopefully we'll be working together in the weeks, months, and years to come. Thank you very much.